Hey, welcome back. It's another Dueling Excel podcast. I'm Bill Jelen. I'm going to be joined by Mike Girvin. Hey, Mike, how was your Thanksgiving? Have a great day. Did you go out for some early morning doorbuster specials this morning? I just want to remind all my folks, if you go out to the Mr. Excel store today, only Friday, the coupon code Turkey20 will get you some Black Friday savings. Save 20% on your order at the Mr. Excel store. All right, today's question. Mike found this one at YouTube. Lotfi Kosman from YouTube in Egypt asked how to take transactional data by day and produce a nice report by week. Well, of course, I solve everything with a pivot table, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Insert, choose Pivot Table. We're going to put daily dates down the left-hand side. So check mark date, they go down the left-hand side, and then revenue, check mark that. So now we have data by date, and I know that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for data by week. I'm going to go to the very first date. I'll right-click and choose Group. In Excel 2003, you had to choose Group and then Group and Show Detail. And I don't want to roll this up to months. I'm going to just go back to days. When I choose only days, check this out. Number of days, I can roll it up to 7. All right, now I'm going to have to go grab the calendar on the wall, January 1st, 2009, see what day that was. Maybe that's a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and figure out what day I really want things to start. 12/30. 2008, and that all depends on when your weekly period starts. Is it Monday through Sunday? Whatever works for you. Click OK, and look at that. We now have data rolled up by week. From there we can create a pivot chart, maybe a line chart, and get to see our total sales for each week of the year. So I think that's the my easiest way to go. Create a pivot table, roll it up by week. Now, one caution here: once you use that spin button trick to group it up by 7 days, we cannot group by anything else anywhere in the pivot table. So you cannot group another field by months and quarters and years. Once you do this this by week, you're kind of limited in what you can do, but certainly a cool way to go. All right, Mike, what have you got for us?
Thanks, Mr. Excel. Doorbuster sales. You bet I did Turkey 20 and went out and got some. In fact, in past Christmas, I've given everyone a book from the MrExcel.com website, even if they didn't use Excel. So this year I'm only going to give out a few, not everyone like I did in the past. Hey, so this is a great question sent in, how to do weekly report from transactional data. I'm going to go ahead and do it with a formula. Now here's the original data set. What I did first was I wanted to find the max date and the min date. And these, of course, will give me a date because the dates are serial numbers. So that max and min will work. That's just so I have a visual cue of when the beginning and ending year is. My goal is to put any date in here. I could put 55/09. And then it will give me the 8 following weeks, a chart label, and then summarize the sales. What we're going to do is we're going to do a formula to take anything from this date here and show the previous Monday. I'm going to use date, and then it needs year, month, and day. Well, we can just take this year right here. So right now that'll give us an 09 there, comma, and then the month. And then it'll give us the 5th month. And then the day. The day argument is what's so amazing about the date function. You could put -2 in here or 0 and it would still work. But I'm going to go ahead and do the day. The day's not going to really work right now because it'd give me 5. But watch this. I could subtract the weekday. The weekday function has 3 different methods. If I click here and put comma 3, the weekday function will give me 0 for Monday, 1 for Tuesday. And that is the whole trick. So any day, whether it's 21 or 10 or whatever, it'll automatically subtract the right number from 0 to 6. 0 for Monday, 6 for Sunday. And that is 3 as the second argument in weekday. All right, and so that'll always give me a Monday. And by the way, I put the weekday here so we could just see. Let's try 2/1. Right? So that's 6. So this formula right here, the day, is taking that 1 and subtracting 6 days, and actually gets us back. Even though the month function right here has given us February, it goes backwards in accordance with that day argument. All right, so the rest of this is pretty easy. Here we'll take this plus 6. If you wanted this to be dynamic, you could put a cell reference for there. This plus 7, and then I'll copy these down. So now we have our dynamic labels. So whatever I put here, those will all update. Now for the chart, I actually want to make a label here in this cell right here. I'm going to use the text function to go from a serial date to a text label. And the format I'm going to use is DDD space and then M/D n double quote close parentheses. And I'm going to ampersand to join a second text string 2 and then ampersand again to do another text. And I'll get this date right here, comma. And this one will include the year also. So DDD space M/D/year, end double quote, close parentheses. So now I have a formula in that for a label, and that is dynamic also. And now these formulas for summarizing, I've done these a lot of times in the past. SUMIFs, a great function, the fastest calculating, faster than SUMIF if you have 2007. I went ahead and got the sum range there. Then for the criteria, I went ahead and got the date column. And notice with SUMIF and ifs, you have to put the comparative operator in quotes and then use the ampersand with the criteria. That is looking actually right there. And finally, I got the, and that's greater than or equal to the small date for this week. And then this one is less than or equal to the Sunday date. If you were in earlier versions, then you want to use sum product. And look here, interesting comparison. SUMIFs, they have that criteria as a separate argument, and you have to put it in double quotes, not with SUMIFs. I went ahead and compared the actual range just with the comparative operator and the cell reference there, no ampersand, and they got to do the double negatives or times 1 or something like that. And then finally, there's array 1, array 2 that are checking for the date, and then the final third array is the sum range over in that other sheet. So once you have that, you have your label, and whichever one of these you are using, I can simply highlight here. And I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut for Alt F1. That's default chart on this sheet. Now I'm going to get rid of this right here. That looks like chart junk. I'm going to get rid of these lines. That's probably chart junk. Maybe you can get rid of this. Maybe you can get rid of that. Delete everything. And all I want to do is add some labels at the top. How? Add data labels. Now we have a dynamic chart. If I change this to 5/5 2009, boom, that chart done by week, and the formulas there done by week. All right, happy Thanksgiving, Mr. Excel. I hope you went out and bought some people some books. Don't forget that Turkey 20. See you next week.
Mike, that is a cool trick. I love the date minus weekday trick. Also that you had a lot of control there over how your dates were showing up, and that you could do it for any period. Now, one thing I didn't mention is if you have Excel 2007, we can come here and ask for date filters and ask for all dates in the period. I can choose a particular quarter, Q3, Q2, Q1, and narrow this down. Not quite as flexible as yours with the rolling 10 months, but there are some other new options there in Excel 2007. All right, well, hey, I want to thank everyone for stopping by. Hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving, and we'll catch you next Friday for another Dueling Excel podcast from Mr. Excel, and Excel is fun.